Hey, what's going on? Nick Unsworth here, and I'm a kick-ass business coach, and I'm on an absolute mission to help you find your purpose in life, to help you love what you do for work every single day, to help you be the rock star that you are meant to be, to make more money than you ever thought was possible, and to have more time freedom so you can actually enjoy the life that you're living. I'm here to help you set your life on fire. Hey, what's going on? Nick Unsworth here, and welcome to another fresh episode of Hump Day Q&A, part of our Life on Fire TV series. So got a really great question for you guys here today. So this is coming in from Nicole J, a good friend actually. And she writes, I have a social media marketing company called Socially Smashing. And how do I build an audience in authority fast? Where do I start? Love your Pay It Forward Friday videos, by the way. Hilarious. So, all right, Nicole, here's the thing. If you're starting any business that has anything to do with online marketing, consulting, coaching, you're building your online brand, these strategies I'm going to share with you are pretty much going to work across the board. And it's going to help you position yourself with authority. It's going to help you build up your revenues and build up your brand really fast. So that's one of these things that this is a couple killer tips here in this session. So basically what I'm going to start with is what I call the anchor client strategy. So getting an anchor client, all that means is that you're going to go out and find a company that has influence in your niche. So if you do social media marketing, I want you to do similar to how I started, do what I did when I started my business. So I got started right away. I cut my teeth and I learned on local businesses. I charged $200 just to get my first customers. Then I ramped up and I charged more and more. And it was my mission to get out of the local market and get into the entrepreneur space, and to get to the ideal customers that I wanted. And so the cool thing is I just reached out to a guy named Frank Kern, who's a big-time, super successful internet marketer. I reached out to a guy named Eben Pagan, who's one of my mentors, and who owns lots of software companies, just absolute brilliant guy. And I even reached out to a guy named John Assaraf, New York Times bestselling author, a guy who I always looked up to, bought his books and courses. And so on those accounts, I reached out and I just said, I started by saying things like, hey, what's up, John? Listen, I'm a huge fan of your books. You've made a huge impact on my life. Shoot, I even have the S from the book, The Secret, tattooed on my chest. I love what you do. And I love what you're doing on Facebook. I see how your engagement is phenomenal. You're actually doing Facebook marketing better than almost any other company in your industry that I've ever even seen. However, there's one technique that I haven't seen you utilize yet. And so all I do is just shared information about a contest strategy for him. And it was something that they had never done before. And I said, listen, this is something that I charge $5,000 per implementation at the time. That's what I was doing. And I said, I'd be willing to come in and to do this completely pro bono or free for you for the opportunity to get a great testimonial and to get referrals to other colleagues of yours. And so I'm not a huge advocate of doing stuff for free, but if it's framed up in the right way with the right expectations, this is an absolutely killer strategy. So by doing that, I then shared, he responded right away. We got on a call, and then I just shared a strategy that excited him. And I said, listen, there's a lot of time invested in this. There's resources invested. I'm going to work and train your team. But here's the thing. Doing this and doing it well, all I'm really looking for is just for your blessing, a testimonial, a review, and for referrals to other colleagues that you have in the space. And what's cool is that allowed me to break into to the top of the industry that I wanted to play in. So even if you're in the fitness industry, you're in the real estate industry, it doesn't matter. This strategy works across all the boards, because all you do is you look at your industry, you look at who has the most influence, and you get them as an anchor client. The reason it's called an anchor client is it's actually a real estate term where if you picture a big strip mall and there's a Walmart, Walmart would be considered the anchor tenant. And if there's a Walmart there, everyone else would want to be there. So the whole thing is that if you have a high profile client, then what happens is that everyone looks at you and says, I don't know who you are, but the fact that you're consulting John Assaraf means you're good enough for me. So what I would do is I would actually get them as a client, get their testimonial, and I'd run ads on Facebook sharing their case study. Imagine how impactful that is. And then when I did this with Frank Kern, we did a contest where he gave away his 1963 Volkswagen bus, and it created such a viral stir. I literally was doing 10 $1,000 Facebook contest engagements, one after another, after another, after another, after another. It blew up my entire business. It was one of the most pivotal moments of my entire business career, hands down. Because what happened is people looked at it and said, I have no idea who this Nick guy is, but shoot, I respect Frank Kern and I want to hire him too. And I'm seeing it happen with my buddy Gary Henderson. He reached out, got influential clients for his traffic company where they do all kinds of paid media. He started doing stuff with Eben Pagan, and they just start referring you to other high-profile contacts. So go out, do whatever you have to do to get an anchor client. It will change your world. So again, it works in any niche. You just have to think of who's influential in your space. We've also seen this happen with one of our Firestarter Elite coaching clients, Valerie Shootman. She used this strategy perfectly when she came to one of our events out here in San Diego. I connected her with John Lee Dumas, top podcaster. She started running his Facebook ads, showed this guy an 1,100+% return on his money, and he loves her. And now he's referred her to a whole bunch of people. He's talked about her on his show, and she's blowing up, and she's on this upward trend. So it's key. Now, the next thing is once you do that and you create results for an influential person in your space, the next step is it's kind of like the subtle brag. You have to get the word out about it. Because if you don't come forward and people don't know that you're doing this, then you're going to miss all of that branding opportunity. So what I want you to do is to get their testimonial, to get their review, and literally run ads to it. So what I would do if I was Valerie Shootman, right, and what she is doing is you get that testimonial from that anchor client, run an ad on Facebook where the ad could be to a landing page that shows a video testimonial from that client, shows the written testimonial, and then you simply run the ad on Facebook to their fans, right? So you can see how simple that is. So if you have a client, you get the testimonial, and then you target that ad in the interests to their fans so that their fans can see what you're doing for them, so the trust is already there, and they perceive you to be the expert because you're consulting them. And so what will happen is that people will be willing to hire you. They're not price sensitive. The trust is already there. It's an amazing strategy to get going. The next step, very simple, is take that case study where case study, that's the proof. Prove your worth as a consultant. Prove your worth in business. And that your measure of success, your ability to write your own paycheck is completely tied to the results you get for people. I can charge $3,000 a month as a business coach because I'm committing to helping people make an extra 100,000. That makes sense. What's your worth? What's your value? Prove it. Make it tangible, because then people will be very comfortable to hire you. So what you want to do is you want to take that case study, right? So for you as a social media marketing company, create a case study that you've done for an influential client. Not only run ads talking about it, but then take that and share it as a guest blog post to a blog that's influential in your industry. So imagine you're a social media marketing expert. You just created great results for a big influential client. You take that story, you go to the top blog in that industry. Let's call it socialmediaexaminer.com. Let's call it Mashable Social Media. And you reach out to them, and these big blogs, entrepreneur.com, Fast Company, Success Magazine, Inc. Magazine, they all look for writers. They're looking for these stories. And you can reach out, any old person can reach out and get that published as a guest blog post. So that step is called just getting out there with a guest blog post. And what happens is that they syndicate that, and two things happen from there. One is you get all kinds of crazy exposure. So you're going to get a monster link back to your site. You're going to get tens and tens of thousands of views on your content, and you're going to build up that authority. The other thing that happens is that from that situation, you're going to get all kinds of people that are reaching out and interested in what you have to do and what you have to offer. So the guest blog post is absolutely key, and you're also able to take, and you're even able to document and write that as seen on. So if you have a guest blog post on the New York Times, it could be as seen on New York Times. You have a guest blog post on Entrepreneur Magazine or entrepreneur.com, as seen on entrepreneur.com, right? So those are not only ways to grow your brand, grow your influence, but in addition, you can have that credibility piece to your business. So that is freaking amazing. So that pretty much wraps up. Just to do a quick recap, it's go out, get an anchor client, create results for them, wrap up those results, run Facebook ads to them, prove and show people your value, then ask for referrals from that anchor client, and then take that story, that beautiful, fresh content, that story, and go to an influential blog in your industry and get it published as a simple guest blog post. If you do that, the people that I've coached to do that and that have gone through that process, you're talking, it's like a hockey stick, right? They might be humming along like this, you know, doing okay in their business. They get the anchor client and then it's like boom, and it goes straight up like a rocket ship. Picture a hockey stick. That's what we want for your business. That's what I do as a coach. So implement this right away, no matter what your industry is. Get an anchor client. It is so freaking key. Changed my life, changed the lives. There's so many clients that we've been doing this for. So Nicole J, hope you dive into that and get started on that right away. And so guys, if you have questions too, again, you can always go to Life on Fire questions and type those in, interact with us, and we'll do our best to feature you on one of these, one of these sessions too. And also keep in mind that we have an amazing contest this month. And if you just go to lifeonfirecontests.com, you can see all kinds of cool prizes. Get involved with us. We do it every single month. We spice up the prizes each and every single month. And so right now we actually have, you know what, you're gonna have to just go and check out the prizes. They are so freaking cool. So check out lifeonfirecontest.com. Definitely let us know what you love about this episode. Share it with your friends, and looking forward to catching up with you on the next show. See you soon.
I'm here to help you set your life on fire.